In the words of its designer, U.S. Secretary of State George C. Marshall, the Marshall Plan was directed against hunger, poverty, desperation, and chaos. The plan to rebuild Europe after the Second World War offered billions of dollars of economic and technical assistance. On April 3, 1948, American President Harry S. Truman put the Marshall Plan into law, initiating the year's event. Europe still needs to repair the huge amount of damage done during the Second World War. The region's economic structure was destroyed. Many of the continent's great cities, including Warsaw and Berlin, lay in ruins. Others, such as London and Rotterdam, had been severely damaged. Aerial bombardments had crushed industry. Transport infrastructure, including railways, bridges and roads, had also been hard hit. The loss of transportation left villages isolated and cut off from supply. In the cities, competing rise had displaced millions of people. Some returned to their towns, discovered that they had lost their lives. Many people left Europe for a future abroad. Marshall called on America to do whatever it would to help restore the world's economic health. He believed that economic growth would provide political stability and curtail communism in Europe. Any government that was willing to assist in recovery was offered the full cooperation of America. In Marshall's plan, America would provide financial aid, but the European nations would administer it in what would officially be titled the European Recovery Program. Turning the plan into reality required negotiations among the participating nations and the passing of the bill by the United States Congress. On April 3, 1948, these steps were complete. President Truman signed the first appropriation bill, authorizing more than $5 billion in aid for the first year of the program. 16 nations, including France, West Germany, Great Britain, Greece, Switzerland, and Turkey agreed to participate in the program. Representatives from these nations met in Paris to determine how the aid would be divided. Each nation had its own interests and concerns, but after lengthy negotiations, agreement was reached. The Organization for European Economic Cooperation was established to coordinate the aid. The Soviet Union had rejected an early offer to participate in the Marshall Plan. Stalin believed that America was interested in gaining political power in Europe. He pressured Eastern European nations, including Czechoslovakia and Poland, to reject the plan. It was the beginning of a long separation between East and West. As Marshall had predicted, the communist influence in Western Europe shrank with increasing prosperity. Trade relations were forged that would persist throughout the Cold War. The Marshall Plan aid was initially used for the purchase of staples such as food and fuel from the United States. But as living standards improved, purchases turned towards reconstruction needs. By 1952, the European Recovery Program had administered $13 billion in aid and technical assistance. During this time, participating countries saw their gross national product rise more than 30%, and industrial production increased by 4% over pre-war levels. Economic, social, and political structures had been strengthened, and the threat of communism diminished. In 1953, as scheduled, the Marshall Plan came to an end. The main event of 1948 had revived economic growth and helped rebuild war-torn Europe. Marshall's plan was a grand vision that shaped the world we live in today.